Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? This is, you know who this is, King Leo Productions, and today I am here to show some more recent eBay purchases that I have recently, bought and stuff. And, well, without further ado, let's get down to it. But first thing I want to say is I hope you guys are having a good day, and I want to thank you guys for always showing your constant support to this channel and let you know how much I love and cherish each and every one of you. So the first thing that we have that I got was a really, this is more of a nostalgia purchase for me because this is something I had when I was really younger, and I just had to put it back in my collection since I started this wooden railway journey. And that, without further ado, is Thomas the Tank Engine. One of the original pieces of wooden railway. Now, a little background here. So I remember, I forgot how old I was. I know I was younger than 5, but I got this guy right here in that Thomas Gets Bumped story. Books. It was Thomas Get Bumped and other stories, and it came with the wooden railway Thomas. And when I say that I literally took this thing with me everywhere, I don't care if we were just going around the corner, I took it with me everywhere, and it was always just my favorite thing in the world. However, I forgot what happened to mine. Now, I do know that I damaged it. Like, I drew on it with marker, and not to mention I also may have put it on top of a lamp, and the middle wheel got melted. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But then I guess with all the moving I did when I was younger, I must have got lost it on time. So I wanted this exact version because this is the one that I had when I was younger, and honestly, I'm happy to have it in my collection once again. Now, this is just, let's see, what year is this, Thomas? This is a 2000. What is this? This is a 2000. Yeah, this is a 2003 Thomas. It's actually one of the more basic. There's really nothing special about this model. It's just a classic, standard Thomas Tank Engine thing. Thomas Tank Engine thing. I can't even talk. Now, this is the one that has the boiler stripes. Now, there is a version that do not have them. So, yeah, this is pretty much it. And I'm just glad to have this guy. Now, this is most likely going to become my new Thomas for my series because, don't get me wrong, I love this guy here. I do. But I was never crazy about the proportions on this one or the wood Thomas because, like, let's be honest. This is kind of chunky. I'm not going to lie. This is a very chunky tank engine. And Thomas isn't chunky at all. It's like all the proportions on the other characters they made for this wooden railway line were good. Hell, even Percy was decent. Let me grab Percy for a minute. Like, even Percy's proportions were pretty alright. He doesn't look squashed. He just looks small like he usually does. But Thomas, he looks like honestly, this guy's always looked kind of fat. Now, I did like it. I do still like it, but over time I realized that the proportions were so off with this, and now it might be time to retire this guy. But also, what he came with was a solder line caboose, which I only have one of these, and I know somebody's gonna be like, "How are you a Thomas Wooden Railway guy? You only had one solder line caboose." I know. Don't yell at me, God. I can already hear you guys yelling at me now. But yeah, only caboose I ever had was the solder line Christmas caboose that I painted up. I gotta where is that thing at? Like, I had it over here somewhere. Let me see. Hang on. I think it's around here somewhere. Oh, yeah, here it is. So, yeah, I had here's my original solder line caboose right here, but I painted it and gave it a black roof because it was pretty much faded and practically destroyed. This is actually the Christmas variant, but like I said, this thing's old now, and I basically just had to fix it up and repair it. So, this is basically imagine this but with Christmas stuff. Now, this is, of course, it's just going to be a regular brake van. It's really just that. Now, I noticed that somebody who had this toy before me drew a face on it, so that's pretty cool because I did the same thing with mine. Of course, it has a few ding marks, but it just showed that it was loved, It was loved as a toy item, and I'm glad I can also cherish it in my series. Hopefully, whoever owned this caboose watches my videos and they can see me use it a lot. And without further ado, let's put that to the side and let's take Thomas out of here. Now the next couple items I have are really nothing special. I've been on a big rolling stock thing, so I bought these 2 pieces of rolling stock. They came in a set together on eBay. And basically what this is a Sodor coal car. Nothing really special here. Like I said, I really just needed more rolling stock for the railway. And of course I got another one of these vans because you cannot have too many vans. I have about, see this one, counting this one, I have 5 of them now. Yes, I have 5 of them now, so maybe, because I'm thinking about down the line, I can just repaint these things and just paint them into their like brown and maybe some white. I don't know, you know. Yeah, maybe I can just paint them up like the vans, how they look in the TV series. And you know, like I said, this is just a regular stock standard wooden railway coal car. Now, this does look similar to the Sodor scrap car that came with the Bertram that I bought, but like I said, there's really, oh hi Loki, nice of your legs to make a cameo in the video. Now this, like I said, this is just stock standard rolling stock, nothing more, nothing less. Now I remember I mentioned in like one of my other videos is that I wanted to add more road vehicles to my series, and I did that with this purchase here. And without further ado, let me bring them in. So here are Terrence and Trevor. Now, I've been wanting Trevor because I feel like he is a forgotten character a lot now, because we've had all these cooler vehicles introduced. We had Flynn the Fire Engine, we had the Pack, but we seem to just forget about Trevor, because Trevor was always an interesting character from the start. A traction engine saved from scrap. And I kind of find it funny how when I was younger, I used to have this really big question. Like, I used to have this question about, you know, some of the engines on the Island of Soda. I used to be like, why is Fergus on the rails, but why is Trevor on the road? But then I realized that there are 2 different types of traction engine. So, you know, Fergus was meant for the rails, while this guy was meant for other things. And basically, like I said, I like this, you know, I like overall, you know, I'm glad to finally have him in my collection, because there's a lot of story ideas I can use with this guy, because it's Trevor. You can't go wrong with Trevor the Traction Engine. He is a faithful character, recognizable to both those with the Railway series, the CGI series, and the television model series, because he is always a recognizable face. You'll definitely see him in my series having speaking roles, his own few episodes, and just some other things. Now, Trevor, this guy needs no introductions. Now, I do have the version that has wooden railway wheels instead of the traction things, but this is the only one that I really want. It's the only one that I saw at the current moment. Now, he probably had, the guy that I bought this probably has a traction tire, a treaded Terrence, but I don't mind keeping this guy, you know, why not? And this is kind of cool because, like I said, I've always wanted Terrence in my series because, like I said, Terrence is a very forgotten character, and I'm like, you know, maybe if I bring him back in my series, I can do some more justice with him. Now, I do plan on buying another one of these, or if I buy the one with the treads, I might turn this into the narrow gauge diesel Fred. I might turn him into this. I might turn this into Fred if I ever get another Terrence, because that's the one character I want to make for my narrow gauge line. But without further ado, I would end this video now, but there is one more thing that we have to talk about, and that is, let me pause the video here and we'll transition to the other layout. So here we are at the narrow gauge layout, and I'm pretty much wondering, you know, I know you guys are probably wondering, like, so why are you didn't get any narrow gauge engines? We didn't see them in your initial review of your other things, but I did, and I want you to try to guess the character that I have now. Come on, I'm gonna count to 5, and if you guys didn't guess it, you know, I'll just bring them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the character that I have brought in is another character that everybody was talking about when I did my narrow gauge video, and today that character is Smudger. Smudger. How do we do this? Okay, so of course you already know who Smudger is. Smudger was the television series equivalent of the narrow gauge engine Stanley, which I wanted to introduce Stanley in my series. I was going to end up buying another Fearless Freddy and painting him all red like I seen somebody else do, and just have another Stanley. But that idea is slowly fading away. I also see a wooden railway body shell on eBay that I can buy to make into Stanley. But I need to have another chassis, which I have a chassis to use I have a chassis to use for him, but we will see if I have wheels for him, but we will see. But without further ado, let's take a look at Smudger. Now, this guy Smudger I know he's one of the not too late wooden railway models, but because he has a more of a modern touch to him, unlike the other narrow gauge engines. So what can I say? But this is just basically green Rheneas with a different face and a gold dome. Now this Smudger is let's see, what year is this Smudger? This is also a 2003 Smudger, and like I said, I was hesitant to get Smudger because in my series I was actually planning to have Bertram be Smudger, but not like Copy. I was getting ready to turn Bertram into, my Smudger, but it was, like I said, it was, I didn't want to copy the other people who've done that, and I just want to be original. So in my series, Bertram and Smudger will be totally different characters, different personalities and all. But I do plan on introducing Smudger in actually one of my first few narrow gauge episodes. And like I said, my narrow gauge episodes, I have 3 more episodes that I have planned right now. So I have a standard gauge episode centering around Winston. Then I have 2 narrow gauge episode ideas that I want to get out. The first idea, having an episode that stars Fearless Freddy and Ivo Hugh, because they're both number 7 engines, and Ivo Hugh feels like that he has to prove himself as number 7, while Fearless Freddy really doesn't mind sharing the title. And I have one about Smudger because something's gonna happen in the episode, and then Smudger's gonna be found. I guess, I don't know. I'm still writing the episode. I might just have him just appear on the railway. But like I said, so much things I want to do, and I have a lot of time. I have some time before my school starts for me, and I'll be able to get all this. But appreciate your time watching this video. Thank you for watching. Tell me which one of my my hauls did you like the most today. And that's about it. I hope you guys have a good day, and keep looking out for NWR stories and more to come. Bye bye.